Listen to some George Romney, 1964.
I make this urgent plea for your open minds and hearts for the purpose of giving the candidate to be selected by this convention a better opportunity to win this fall.
So George Romney was actually born in Mexico, so what the hell was he even doing running for president? You have to be a natural born citizen. But George Romney was an incredible candidate. In fact, Nixon thought that George Romney was his biggest opponent. Well, I guess that's the 68 race. He's talking about 64. That's against LBJ. LBJ is going to win, so the Republicans are going to lose. So I'm not sure who did the Republicans pick in 64. LBJ ran against some asshole. But George Romney compared to Nixon on civil rights is a beast. He is a progressive. So we're going to put George Romney up as a progressive Republican. Three big progressive issues that George Romney had believed in because he was the governor of Michigan. He was the governor of Michigan. And since he ushered in the civil rights era for Michigan, Michigan's not going to be as, terribly racist as some states are, like Alabama and Mississippi are today. Now, college scholarship, he had passed out $15,000 or 15,000 college scholarships, full ride scholarships. So he was pro government spending for college. He was opposed to the Vietnam War. Apparently in 1965, I think, he was for the Vietnam War. 2 years later, he went over to Vietnam, and those generals tried to brainwash him, and the attempted brainwashing, or maybe they did brainwash him. He just kept on talking about being brainwashed. A little weird, but because of that experience, he became opposed to the Vietnam War. So he's for college scholarships, he's opposed to the Vietnam War, and he was pro-civil rights. So those are three big progressive issues. Not a whole bunch of things, but I felt like it was worthy of mentioning because this is the father of Mitt Romney. And so Mitt Romney had passed a health care plan in his, state when he was the governor. So Mitt Romney, in fact, Obamacare was Romney Care. But George Romney, August 67, opposed to Vietnam War. When Nixon became president in 1968, he allowed George Romney to head HUD. And George Romney got it in his head that he was going to use the urban development, the federal housing program in order to get integration passed. He was pro-civil rights. And so he was rejecting applications that was like predominantly just all one. He wanted integration, and he was going to try to get integration through HUD. And Nixon was pissed off. Nixon said no. Nixon was like, keep him out of my sight. Which is kind of stupid as that's smart. Why the fuck? I mean, they're going to integrate by putting all the kids together, but not the adults. No, we're not going to put the adults together. Governor of Michigan, he was did something with the state income tax. He had ran on anti-big labor, also anti-big industry, and anti-big government. So he was for the little man, right? He was anti-big industry, anti-big labor, anti-big government. He's all about the little man. And he walked with Martin Luther King. He declared Freedom Day when Martin Luther King was in town. He had a speech. He gave speeches with LBJ all the time. Basically, he was like the go-to guy when it came to being pro-civil rights. Well, who likes us? Well, George Romney. George Romney, he likes you.
The strongest personality on earth cannot deal with the problems of this nation except upon the basis of correct principles. Our party was founded at a time of grave national crisis. It was our mission at our birth under Lincoln to preserve this nation established by divine providence with a divine destiny. by the extremism of that time. And the extremism and lily-white Protestantism destroyed the Whig Party and brought the Republican Party into being. The extremists of that day called themselves the sacred cult of the Star-Spangled Banner officially. They were known popularly as the Know-Nothings. While their political leaders sought refuge in silence, while other political leaders did, Lincoln spoke out as forcefully against the Know-Nothing extremists of his day as he did about slavery. He attacked both as a violation of the source